All right, so taking a deep, slow inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Next breath. So this helps us start creating more space in the lungs, more space in the body. We'll do 2 more of those. So when you're ready, preparing, taking a big inhale. Exhale really big. Notice how your next inhale is probably deeper. Starting to create even more space. So in between these really big breaths, we're just breathing nice and deep. And we'll get ready for 1 more of those really big breaths with the forceful exhale. So when you're ready, slowly inhaling, exhaling, let it all go. And then the next breath in is very deep. And you can start this steady rhythm of breath, really deep and slow into the body. Exhaling very slowly, completely all the way, air out. Continuing this. So simply controlling our breath, we can begin to control our energy body, our chi, our prana. And we can also calm the nervous system by turning off the sympathetic, activating the parasympathetic. And as we breathe intentionally, we do begin to arrive in our physical bodies, arrive in this moment, meeting ourselves right where we are today. So no matter how we feel, whether we have some energy, whether we're low energy, feeling up or down, whatever it is, just accepting that in this moment, breathing in and out. Accepting any aches or pains or areas of stiffness or tension of the body. So working on body acceptance, no matter whatever shape we are, whether we've lost or gained weight or stayed the same during this time of our quarantine. It is the yoga of acceptance, this yin practice. Not trying to change ourselves. So let's come into an intention today. You can have your own intention that you might need, or maybe your intention is self-love. So I have been using that personally lately in my personal practice. So you're welcome to try that out. Let's place one hand over the heart and the other hand on top of the first hand as we feel into the heart space and bring that intention right into that space. We'll take a deep, slow inhale and hold, feeling that intention, and then exhale into your practice, releasing it. Maybe arms come alongside the body again. So we'll mainly be targeting shoulders, spine, hips today, as we normally do for yin practice. Now starting to notice those areas. If you have a prop under the spine, you can roll to the side and push it over. And we'll bend the knees, bring the feet to the ground, and then let's just drop the knees over to the right and then slide them over to the left. Loosening up that low back and the hips, feeling what this feels like. Nice. And then you can come to center. Maybe you bring the knees in this time. You can rock side to side. Good. Feet come back down, and then you can roll to the side, come to a seat. So any seat is fine. If you're not able to sit cross-legged, it's okay. You can sit on props. You can sit on your knees with the legs straight out. Anything that feels good. We're just going to loosen the shoulders up a little and start to feel into them. So inhale, we'll bring the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale down the back. So our open chest. And 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale them down. And the last one, make a kind of circular motion. So shoulders up and forward, and then back and down. The chest opens. Let's bring the arms, floating them up. Inhale. And then we're going to bring the right arm under the left. 2 options. So you can grab it opposite shoulders, or you can wrap the arms around each other for eagle arms. Whichever one feels better for your shoulders and arms. We'll lift up really gently. Inhale. And exhale, pull the elbows down. Feel the stretching in the upper back and shoulders, the trapezius muscles. We'll do a couple more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Feel that stretch. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. And then we'll hold for a few breaths. Maybe the eyes close, and we'll breathe in and out here. Inhale and exhale. Your next inhale, you'll sweep the arms out, unraveling them and coming up. And then other side. So we'll exhale, left arm under the right. So you're either going to wrap the arms around each other or grab opposite shoulders. And then whichever one you're taking, we'll do 3 times rhythmically. So we'll inhale, the elbows come up. Exhale, bringing the elbows down, shoulders drop, getting a big stretch. 2 more times. Inhale, up. Exhaling. Nice. 1 more in. And then exhale. This time holding it a few seconds. And then we'll sweep arms up. Inhale. Exhale down through the heart center. Take a breath here. Noticing the shoulders, any differences, any feelings of movement there. And then finally getting into the spine. So we'll go over to hands and knees, taking a few cat and cows. So inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the heart. Exhale, the rounding of the spine. Drop the head and tail, tuck it under. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, drop the belly, lift chest and tail. Exhale, opposite directions. And then you can move for a few seconds any way you want. You can keep doing those. You can kind of circle hips if you want to. You can stretch back, forward. You can do side to side. So anything that feels good for about 5 breaths. Two more. Feeling out how the spine feels, whole length of it from the cervical to the tip of the coccyx or tailbone. Good. And then let's slowly come onto the belly. We'll come into our first posture, our first yin posture, Sphinx pose. So coming into the pose, you might even wiggle the hips side to side and kind of get them where you want them. See where the feet land. You don't have to change how the feet are positioned if you don't feel like you need to. So coming into our Sphinx and really having a open heart here in this pose. Open chest. We're able to breathe really deeply here. Even feeling like you're pulling the chest forward. Feel the grounding here. So feel hands, fingers, palms connected to the floor. You might notice an area of the hand that's kind of hovering, maybe in the palm. Feeling your forearms and elbows here. So they might be on the floor or on a prop. You can always prop up arms on blocks or a pillow, bolster. Feeling the low belly on the ground. Any pulsing or movement there. We do have a big artery that runs down from the heart, the umbilicus. Hips are grounded here. Tops of the thighs. Maybe the top part of the knees. Noticing the legs. So what part is on the ground? What part is off the ground? So here I have my feet, tops of the feet are connecting, but then my shins are kind of off the ground. So just observing where your body is in space. We're halfway through the pose, doing about 4 minutes here. If you like at any point, you can take seal, sliding hands apart and lifting gently off on the elbows. This is not required. None of the poses are required. Just breathing, allowing, softening any muscles, any tension. So it's another minute here. Maybe focusing right in that low spine right here for a few more breaths. Opening the chest, breathing right into it. 2 more breaths here. Good, and then when you're ready, we're gonna come down really slow. So unraveling everything. You can bring one cheek to the mat if you want to stretch the neck a bit. And then option to bend the knees and the feet, legs, windshield wiper side to side. Staying here or bringing legs back down, we're just going to turn the head the opposite direction, opposite cheek. And then let's start bringing our hands under the shoulders, lifting up and back for a wide knee child's pose. If you need to bring the knees together first to let that be more of a forward bend for your low back, you can do that. But then we will widen and come into the next pose. Kind of a frog variation. You can prop under the chest with a pillow or bolster. So chin can be down, head can be turned either direction. And I'll let you know when we're halfway. If you're going to the side, you can turn the other way. So getting into our hips here, not as much of a heart opener, but a great counter pose for what we just did. You can widen the knees as much as you need to. And then playing with your edge so you don't have to go all the way to the edge, but just see where you land and see where you want to be. So obviously this targets the hips, but you might feel this in very different ways than any other person. So it could be inner thighs, groin, could be the front of the hips, the hip flexors, could be the sides, the glutes. And I'm feeling compression or stimulation, actually compression with the floor with my ankles and tops of the feet. So the way the ankles are bent or not bent right now. The foot is probably in plantar flexion here, or the feet rather. Otherwise known as kind of a pointed position. Now go to where you feel this a lot. Take your mind's focus there. Start influencing the circulation, the intention, blood and energy flow through the hips. You can focus on it. So chi follows mind, one of the laws of nature. So we're halfway. If you've turned your head one way, you can go the other way. Really connect again with the ground. You can do this with each pose. Feeling the arms, hands. The chest might be on the floor or on a prop. So that connection. And anywhere along the legs or feet where you're feeling that ground. Inhaling, exhaling, softening all those body parts into the earth. Good, about 10 more breaths here. Nice, last breath. And then let's crawl out of this pose. So if you'd like, you can lift up, start slowly walking hands to the front, let the legs just go. If you have a better way for you to get out of the pose, do that. Resting with the legs stretched long, whether that's on your back or your front. Close the eyes here, and can you feel movement of energy anywhere along the hips, knees, legs, feet, lower body. And then if you notice anything in the low back that you need to stretch or loosen up, you can do windshield wiper again. So I'm noticing something there. So we'll stay here on our front body for the next one, and we'll do our big heart and shoulder opening pose. So you can stretch your right arm out to either straight out to the right, or it can be forward like it's almost over your head. We're going to use our left hand rolling onto the shoulder. And then your head can come to a pillow. So if you didn't already have one nearby, you'll want to come out and then go back into it. I've got a block here I can use. Rolling. And then the legs can be any way you'd like them. So they can be bent to the side. They can be straight. You can have the top leg's foot on the floor with the knee up. The left hand, you can do what you'd like. It can stay right here for support. Maybe it's coming to the hip and you might get a bigger opening in the shoulder. And then just be really careful with your shoulder joints. But if you want, you can bring that arm behind. For the right arm, bottom arm, with that hand, it really doesn't matter if the palm is on the ground or the back of the hand. You'll kind of just fall into the pose that's right for you. So really getting big stretching in the pectoral muscles to start. And then as we breathe and let go and release the muscles, getting deep into the tissues of fascia in this area. So a lot of us hold tension in the back, shoulders, maybe the chest gets tighter, especially when we're sitting down a lot or driving. So if you can't take those full deep breaths, you're too deep in the pose. And I notice this in myself when I do this pose sometimes. When you take a deep, deep breath, you feel something sharp in the shoulder blades, you'll want to back off. So whether that means bringing the arm back or rolling slightly off the shoulder, just be careful. The legs can be resting if you'd like, and that can kind of take it out of that right shoulder. You make this your posture. Very different than all the others in the way we're opening in the chest and arms. So the breath can be soft. It can be a little more shallow, but it's always a good test in a pose to take really deep breath and see if there's sharpness or difficulty with that. Balance of effort and ease, wu wei, action and non-action. Just a little bit more time here. Making this one a little shorter. So it'll be about 3 minutes total, and we have about 5 more breaths. So it's slowly coming out. If your left hand has come behind you or to the hip, you can bring it back to the floor on your left. Slowly rolling off the right shoulder. Maybe arms come down beside, and you can turn head to the right, the other direction. Little yin stretch for the neck. When you're ready, you'll take the other side. Your left arm will stretch out to the side, straight out, or towards the front. And then rolling onto the shoulder with the help of that right hand, repositioning the hips and legs as you need and propping the head as you need, or neck. Very different on this side, probably. And that's okay. So bringing acceptance. I hear a lot of people express frustration about one side being different than the other. And I really believe that we really just need to get over that. Like it is a fact. Our bones are different. Our muscles on one side might be different. We have a dominant side, usually, most people do. So just letting go of any ideas about the body or any shoulds. My body should be blank. So just let go of that kind of language with yourself. No shoulds about how the pose looks. And what we care about is what it feels like and tissues we're targeting. Remember that self-love, self-compassion. Only when we have that can we give that to others. About another minute here, thinking about the heart meridian, starting in the heart internally, and then it surfaces in the armpit, coming down all the way the inner arm to the tip of the little pinky finger. So you could even feel that pinky finger. Maybe you press the tip of the finger into the ground, stimulating this channel, opening the heart. About 5 more breaths here. Beautiful. Let's come out of this really slow, kind of reverse the way we came in. So slowly rolling back onto the front. Maybe arms come alongside. You can turn your head towards the left this time and just rest here. And then let's come up and back for a brief child's pose. Making your way. So take a few breaths here with your third eye down on the mat. You could even massage it into the mat. And then when you're ready, we'll come up and we'll come into a swan pose on the right. So I'll start in hands and knees usually. You can start from a down dog if you feel like you need that today. And then bringing that left knee forward behind the left wrist. If you want, you can scoot the left leg back, maybe put something under this right hip if it's not down on the floor. So we're in swan pose. You can stay here, you can come back to this upright version, or you can sink down, maybe bringing props. Arms can support you or be fully relaxed. So if I have a prop here, I'm able to just let my chest completely relax and my arms can rest, or they can go like this. But if that's not working for you, it's okay. You can have the hands for support. Just don't take tension in the shoulders, because we did just release in those areas. So coming back to the hips, getting further into them. Take time to let those muscles soften and release. It always takes time. Takes stillness. See what the breath is like here. And if you haven't been paying attention to the breath, this is a great time to refocus that intention, the mind on that breath, and then deepening, opening in the body, using your breath. And we have 2 more minutes, so we're halfway through. We're doing 4 today. So we're really going inward here. You might have the eyes closed, and if you have them open, maybe you're just gazing, really soft gaze downward. I do like to have the eyes closed in a lot of these poses. It really turns the practice inward, because it's all about self-inquiry, getting to know the body, the mind a bit more, the spirit. We have about 10 more breaths right here. Last breath here. When you're ready, let's come out kind of in stages. So first pressing up, coming back to swan. You can tuck your back toe and scoot forward a bit. Maybe you swing the right leg back. Take your time coming down onto your front or your back, your side, whatever you need, but we'll take a moment of stillness, just letting the tissues and energy reorganize through that side of the body that we were having some compression in, the hip, knee, ankle. Eyes are closed, and you're just noticing any movement or sensation. So I notice a lot here. It's like tingling through my whole right leg, and then I'm noticing pulsing sensation, kind of a lightness in my ankle on the right side. Just some examples of the kind of sensations that actually are chi feelings. So you're feeling the chi, the energy. Anyone can do it. We're going to go ahead and find the other side when ready, so you can press up. And then drawing the left knee behind the left wrist. If you need to, you can tuck the back toes, scoot back a little and then find a prop to put under the left hip if you need that. So I'm just adjusting a little. My foot is super close to my opposite hip, actually, the inner part. Staying upright, or you can sink down. So being more yang to stay upright, using yang energy to press into the floor. When we are closer to the sky, it's more yang, and when we're close to the earth, it's more yin. So if you would like it more yin, coming down, you might already be down here. I'm just setting the time now. Take your time to get into the pose, adjust as you need to, prop as you need to, add or take away at any point. Eventually you'll settle into some stillness. And it takes 60 to 90 seconds for muscles in stillness to just release. Anytime that we move again, we're contracting it again. So we probably have to start over with the stillness. That's okay if you have to do that. We have 4 whole minutes here total. It's plenty of time to find a beginning, middle, and end of each of the poses. We're about approaching that 1.5 minute point. So just noticing, does the hip feel different than when you first came into it? So for me, I know I had a muscle stretch in the beginning, and now I feel something really deep inside my hip area. So I know that is a really deep tissue sensation. Never staying if you feel anything sharp, always backing off or coming out completely. We're more than halfway here. If the mind's going all over the place, let your eyes close. Come back to that inhale, exhale, feeling the breath, and then finding a place to pinpoint in your body. Can you focus the mind's attention on it, turn towards sensation rather than running away from it? And then breathing into that space, creating more space, allowing more blood and energy to flow through this area, stimulating. Beautiful. It's about 10 more breaths. Last few breaths right here. If you've come out early, that's great. You listen to your body. Let's slowly make our way out. You can use your arms, hands, press down, lift up. If you want, you can tuck the back toes, scoot forward. I like to bring left to meet right. You can come onto the front if you'd like, or any other position, just resting here. Let your eyes close and we'll do the same sensory kind of stuff on this side. So feeling into that left side now. Any kind of tingles, pulsing feelings, lightness, sometimes even feeling like water or cool areas. Let's come on to the back now. Or actually, just kidding. We're going to come up to hands and knees. We're going to do one more heart opener. So we'll take our heart melting pose, Anahatasana, walking or sliding the hands forward to a diagonal, inhaling, exhaling, heart melting down. So chin can come down, chest, forehead. You can gently turn head side. If this isn't working in your body, bring that prop, pillow, or bolster. Can you just let your chest rest here? So the hips are straight up. It's a little bit of effort, a little more yang, a little bit of a shorter pose, working the upper body. Beautiful. Opening the heart chest. Just noticing if this is challenging for you. Can you really use your breath? Can you back off as needed? Take care of yourself. Self-love, self-compassion. We're halfway through. We're doing a total of 3 minutes here. Less than a minute here. Bring that mental focus, one pointed focus to where you feel this in the body. Breathe into the space. Thinking about the heart meridian again, starting in the armpits, coming down to that little pinky finger, taking that very medial part of the arm. The palms are pressing. Maybe you are aware of those little pinky fingers. Maybe those can press down a little more. 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, hands pressed down, you can lift. Walk the hands back. If you need to move a prop, you can, or keep it. We'll just take child's pose one last time, but with the arms draped by our sides. And then coming up, we're going to finally come onto our backs. Let's stretch long first. And then let's go ahead and do just what we did in the beginning and see how it compares. So we'll take that pose with the feet down, knees straight up, and then slowly one side, then the other. Maybe the hips and low back are a little more open. Maybe you notice a lot. Maybe you notice not that much. Good. Coming back to center, and we'll do that again, bringing knees in this time and then rocking. It can be a gentle rock. Nice. And then taking knees to the right side for a twist. So any version, you can cross. You can have the bottom leg straight, the top leg bent. I've seen people just take both legs straight out to the side. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can prop underneath the knee or in between both knees if the knee bone's kind of knocked together. Medial condyles, I believe. Beautiful. Finding our twist. Let this feel good. And now we've got that nice open chest, open heart. Breathing into that space and even more so the belly rises. Exhale, belly falls, chest falls. And continuing that, letting the shoulders feel very heavy and relax on the ground. We're going to have a nice long twist here. Nice release for that spine, probably the hips too, one or both. Halfway through this twist, what's different? What can you focus on? That sensation. Sensation and breath always, always bring us to the present. So the body can't exist in the past or future. It's right here in the now. A little less than a minute here. So when you're ready, just take your time, really slowly rolling back to the center. Uncrossing if you've crossed. You can stay here or stretch legs long just a moment, or even bring knees back to the chest and hug them. And then finally, our last pose, other side of our twist. So you can bring knees in again, let them fall to the left side. Arms might stretch out long. You can have arms or hands coming towards the body for support, just whatever you need. If you want that complete kind of spiral with the spine, you can turn your head gently to the right. But if that doesn't feel right, don't worry about it. You can have the head kind of pointing straight up. Open chest and shoulders here. You take deep breaths in and out without anything sharp or weird happening in the body, especially that lower back. Backing off as needed. You can always bring the knees closer to the sky or put a prop underneath them. More than halfway through this side. So about one last minute here. Just wringing out those internal organs, the nice twist. So good for digestion. A few more breaths here. So slowly make your way out, please, coming back to the center. So here you can take any last stretches or movements that you might need. If you need another 10 breaths in a different pose or taking some movement, you can take that. And then eventually coming into your final relaxation pose, however that looks for you, whether that's lying down in Shavasana on the back with the legs and arms stretched long. You can always curl up onto the side with a pillow and blanket, or anything else where you can fully surrender. And then taking your rest. Just starting to reawaken the body with a big inhale, exhale. I'm just taking some deep breaths here. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And just adding any other movement as you need, whether that's stretching the arms out above the head, pointing the toes. Can be circling wrists and ankles, can be tucking into a ball and rocking, just anything that's good for you. Eventually we'll come on to the side body and take a pause, a breath there. When you're ready, you'll press up to your comfortable seat and we'll close our practice together. So coming to the seat with the palms at the heart center. Having gratitude, having self-love. May all beings be free of fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all live gently in the softness of our own hearts. Namaste.